Okay, guys, let me know you can see the screen and you can hear me and we can get started. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see the screen and you can hear me okay. Okay, so today we're going to cover Page Sniper, the pro version. Okay, so I've already done a video. It's about half an hour video on doing the research part, which was the core product. Today we want to build a tool. Okay, and I've already built a tool. I'm going to show you how to take it further, but I'm going to show you how to start it as well. Okay, and give you some really good tips on how you can make sure that something that you find that is selling really well can be rebuilt and rebuilt much, much better. Okay, so it's quite easy stuff. It's super simple to do now with Claude. So all we need to do is feed it the information it needs, and that's all done via Page Sniper. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first, for the people who purchased the pro version, I gave a free tool as a bonus. Okay, this is actually a really good tool. It's much better than the web app one that we had before. I'm just going to give you a quick demo of that because it's super simple to use. What we do with this is we go into either JVZoo or WarriorpPlus or even ClickBank, and wherever it's got a marketplace, okay, where you can see this kind of stuff here. Hold on a second. I'm not going to have to. Okay. Go with me. Somebody's sending me a message asking me to compare SEO plugins with the intent SEO. I'll just switch that off. Okay, so we're in the WarriorpPlus dashboard here. This is affiliate offers. What we want to do with this, we want to set up some metrics. Okay, and what I do with this is I set up to find products that are converting but haven't yet got a lot of traffic. Okay, you're going to see on these big affiliate launches lots and lots of traffic going to products that often are kind of, they're okay, but you can tell they're built for launch. You can tell that they're built for just the purpose of generating revenue and building a buyer's email list. That's the whole game with the WarriorpPlus and JVZoo stuff. It works very, very well. Some of those people can make 6 figures per month if they're doing enough launches. But most of them, multiple 5 figures per month is quite easily achievable. So the game is that you do these launches, you get buyers in, you make some profit, but affiliates are going to be taking 50%. And plus you get the fees that come from PayPal and JVZoo or WarriorpPlus. So the revenue is not always the main goal for those kind of launches, but it is building the buyers list. Okay, the buyers list is where the real money is. So they will do post-launch webinars and promote something that's maybe mid-ticket or high-ticket, $297 to $997 one-time cost. And they've got this buyers list that they do promotions to for other WarriorpPlus offers as affiliate marketers. Okay, so they're making money from that buyers list. That's the game. That's the whole thing that they're doing. Okay, so what I'm looking at here when I'm doing this is just, I'll show you 2 ways to use this, but this is just me. I've made a lot of money when I've not been promoting product launches that are heavy traffic, okay, because it's much less competition. Okay, and the easiest way to do that is to use a tool like this, and I built this specifically to help me to do this. All I have to do is scan the page, okay, and I've put my filters in here. It's got to have a minimum conversion of 15%, okay, minimum price of $15 on the front end. You will notice these launches, they start off with very, very low cost front end. Why? Because I want to build a buyers list. That's the real money is in the list. Okay, then the upsells go up 67, 97, sometimes higher, etc. And they've got multiple upsells in the funnels. Okay, I'm looking for maximum sales 250. okay? And maximum refund, I'm going to put here, I'll keep it at 5%, but I would actually make this lower. And minimum earnings per click, we'll put $1, but I would usually do about $4 for this. All we have to do is we scan the page, and you can see it's instant. I'll just drag this out because it's a sidebar kind of thing here. And it will tell you instantly what offers meet that criteria. Okay, so you can go through this and you can click on any of these and it will open up the JV page within the WarriorpPlus. Okay, the same thing will work in JVZoo as well. And you can see which ones are qualifying under that criteria. So this can help you to find offers that are converting, but just need traffic. And if you've got traffic, there's an opportunity. I've made a lot of money doing this, where there's just literally no competition. Even better, most of these launches will have affiliate contests. Okay, so if you have got an email list or you have got a way to drive traffic to the offers, there's a very, very good chance that you can go and take some of that contest prize money. Okay, and that's where you can bump up your affiliate commissions even more. Okay, so it's just a simple tool. You can play around with this any way that you want. You could, for example, come in here and say, okay, I'm looking for minimum 5% conversion. Okay, but minimum price you can put in here, let's say $67. Okay, I'll put 60 just so that we'll cover 67. And this way you're going to be looking at a higher ticket offer, slightly higher ticket offer. Okay, and you're going to be looking for something that's not expected to convert as well as something that would sell at $15, but you're still going to find some good opportunities where you can earn higher commissions as an affiliate. Okay, and you can see different ways that you can use that just by using the metrics filters in there. Okay, so much better than the version we had before, which was a web app that we built in base 44. And I like this one because it's instant. There's no copying and pasting and anything like that. Okay, so now let's come back over to Page Sniper. Okay, so I'm just going to narrow this down a little bit, and I'll get rid of these options in here, this options page here. Now, when you first install Page Sniper, you want to make sure that you've got your settings. There's two ways to do that. You can click on the options, okay, and that will take you where you can put your API keys, etc. And you can also, when you've done your settings, you can export them so you can import them again later if you do a fresh install of the Chrome extension, or if you want to take it to another computer. Okay, that's one way to do it, is to right click on the icon and click on options. If you come down the bottom down here, you can see we've got settings here as well. You click on that, the same page opens. Okay, two different ways that you can reach that. All right, so let me just try and explain something that I think is important before we even get started with this. Okay, so we've done the affiliate profit finder. Okay, now I've got two tools that I use for this kind of thing. Now, up until maybe 18 months ago, I was using developers to build tools for me. I was not familiar with how to build tools with AI. Since I've learned that, I've literally built hundreds of tools, partly because I was just fascinated with the process and just kept building handy little tools that I wanted to use for myself, build for myself, and then we sold them really cheaply just to keep revenue ticking over, and also let people get their hands on some really useful, handy tools that they can use in their business at various times. So what I've done is I've built two different tools, both called Sniper. Okay, one is Product Sniper. That one is only available for the people who join the Evergreen workshop. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about that later. And we have got that page live now. Okay, that starts next week, Evergreen workshop, where I'm going to be teaching more in depth about building with no code. Okay, with Claude, with Codex, how we can build within base 44 and get Claude code to do all the work, so you're not worried about things breaking like it can do very easily with the base 44 AI. Okay, you can actually just get Claude to take over all the coding, and you can build some really complicated tools like we did with the Intent SEO WordPress plugin. I really did stretch what we could do with that particular tool. Okay, And there was no fear at any point that something was going to break. Whereas with base 44 AI, I was always worried something is going to break. You would fix something, or you would add a new feature, and something that was completely unrelated would break. Okay. And I never understood how that could happen. That doesn't happen anymore. Okay. When you're using Cloud Code, that's basically what I've been using. I've used Codex a little bit, not too much. I built one app in base 44 with Codex, and it turned out fine. So whatever one you prefer, we will cover both in that session. Okay. So Product Sniper, what it does, it doesn't find when you come across something, usually on social media, maybe on YouTube, okay, a method, a how-to, a case study, a step-by-step guide kind of post. Okay, there's tons and tons and tons of them on social media. You can use the Product Sniper to grab all the information and then turn that into a product idea. So somebody might produce, as a strategy for SEO, how they rank #1 within 3 days doing something. Okay, it would grab all of that. It would pull all the information in, whether it's coming from Twitter or whether it's coming from YouTube, etc., from a transcript. It would grab the transcript, and then it would tell you how we can build a tool from it. Okay, so in that case, it would probably be a start to finish ranking method in that scenario that I just described. Okay, and that's coming from other people's ideas, case studies, stuff that they're selling on social media. Okay, that is exclusive to the Evergreen community, the people who purchased that workshop. It's going to be 6 sessions over 3 weeks. Okay, and then we got Page Sniper, which was to find winning products on WarriorPlus, on JVisa, on ClickBank, anywhere. You can, as long as you can find their sales page, if you can find their videos that they might have on YouTube, or be able to grab their transcripts that they've got anywhere else, if you can find their JV pages, sales pages, anything like that, Page Sniper is able to go and accumulate all the information from every single click that you do on those pages. Okay, so if I'm in Page Sniper here, I'm just open one of these offers here. I'll take this one. Okay, and if I'm in Page Sniper, all I need to do is find where this guy's JV page is. It's usually down here. We can click on that. And then I can say, okay, collect info from the page that I'm on. Okay, and it starts to collect that information. Just click on read it and tell me what it is. And it's going to start to pull in the information. Okay, you can see here it says pages collected as one. Now, what I can do, once this part is done, it's still reading. That's quite a lot of information. Now what I can do is I can go to the sales page and I can click that button again, collect the page that I'm on. Okay, and it's going to add, it's going to accumulate what it got from the previous step. And then you can go to the WarriorPlus affiliate page, where affiliates get the sign up links, where they request approval, and grab the information, and it's going to take all the price ranges, the conversions, refund rates, all that kind of stuff. And every time you click collect a page I'm on, it's going to grab that information and add it to the other pages it's already collected from. Okay, now I'm not going to do that with this one because I've already done a 30-minute video, and if it's going to take 30 minutes, I don't want to spend a webinar going over something that's already been recorded. Okay, so I'm not going to do that, but I'm just explaining to you that it can gather all that information. So it doesn't matter what the offer is. If there's a video, you can grab the transcript, you can put it in there. If it's got a JV page, affiliate tools page, you can put that stuff in there. If it's coming from a marketplace like Gumroad, JVisa, WarriorPlus, you can grab that information. It just accumulates the information so that as you go through the rest of the steps, when you're doing the research, okay, which is under this button, it says promote an offer. It's basically taking all that information, and it's going to give you at the end information. It's going to give you at the end material, sorry, for doing an affiliate promotion. But that was not really the main point when I built this. Okay, I wanted to build this so that we can find successful products on these platforms that are proven to sell. Okay, we want to copy the angles that have been working for them, the things that make those offers convert. We want to grab their sales pages and design with a similar design, okay, with similar angles. But most importantly, we want to be able to take the product apart, which is done in the research part, and then flip it to building a better version of that tool, okay? To build a better version of that tool, we need to do the research on the tool first, which is done with the promote and offer section, okay? And then we can switch over to be a winner, okay? And when we do that, that means that we've got all the research already done, that we can quite easily identify what's missing from that product. How do we make that product better? Okay, now I did do one, I'm going to show you right now, and I'll show you. I'll give you the stock in a few minutes, guys. Yeah, I'll show you this that I've done. Okay, so this is based on a tool that we're going to be building out later. Okay, this is coming from this is based on a tool that sold 2,000 copies. And that tool that sold 2,000 copies is basically a prompt generator, okay? What I wanted to do to make it better was to take it end to end. So it's not just giving you prompts that you copy and paste. It's doing all the steps for you along the way, okay? So we just look at what's there. We look for the bottleneck, the things that will hold people back. And we fix that gap, okay? We fixed the bottleneck. That's what we're looking for, that whole page sniper, back-end coding, prompting, whatever, is designed to do exactly that, to identify where the bottlenecks are, where the missing pieces are, so that you can make a better version of it, okay? Now, we're going to take this tool much further in this session as well, okay? So this would go from the prompt generator that we copied. It kind of went in a workflow similar to this, not exactly like this. It had less steps in here, where you would put in your niche, you would get prompts for keywords, and then you can pick one of the keywords and you can write a blueprint for an article. Then you can get ChatGPT or one of the free AI models to write the article for you, then a prompt for humanizing, etc., and maybe a prompt for images, etc. Okay. Now, when I use this tool here, and we improved the prompts on from what was there on the original prompt generator to what's built in here, it's too generic. It's not going to work. It's not going to do anything for you. Okay. Absolutely nothing is going to be done for you with that, because everybody can generate content like that. You have to learn to differentiate your content from everybody else that can knock out AI content within 2 minutes, okay? Even if you're following steps like this, it is not going to help you if other people are able to go and do exactly the same things, which everybody seems to be doing, okay? So we need to know what is going to make our content get picked up from Google search, from Bing, from the AI models when people are asking questions, etc., answer engine optimization. What do we need to do to make it better? Okay, that's where we're going with this. So when we're building a tool like this, it's important not just to stop and say, oh yeah, I built an article generator, because when I look at the articles, it's not terrible, but it's not going to do anything. It's not going to make sales for you. It's not going to rank for you. Okay, we need to take it further. So you've probably noticed in the last few tools that we've been building, like Skyscraper AI, the Intent SEO plugin, that we're building in a lot of stuff that builds uniqueness into that content. And it's not just words, okay? It's not just words as in text. We're building into that things like tools. We are building into that things like stats and research and data that we can pull from around the internet. And the good thing about being able to do that is you can get it double verified, even just by using AI. A lot of people will say you can't use AI to do stats and research. Yes, you can, if you double verify it. You can get the research done in Grok, for example, or Perplexity, and then go to another one and say, can you confirm this? Okay, and if that is confirmed, then you can use it, okay? Even if it's somebody else's data research, you can still quote it and it still makes your content unique, and it's differentiating you from everybody else's generic AI stuff. Okay. Now, if we also build into that things like building tools, calculators, quizzes, things that we can embed into your web page, and we put those tools inside, not just build them, but we actually embed them within the content, then you've got something that is worthy of getting shared, two things worthy of getting shared, both the stats and data research and a linkable tool, okay? And that often will bring people back, depending on how good you did the tool, okay? And these kind of things are what makes the difference between what you can rank and what you cannot expect to rank, not really, okay? Just take a drink, my mouth getting a little bit dry. Okay, if there's any questions, you can put them into the chat as well. Okay, I'll keep an eye on the chat over here. I've got two screens. If you haven't been on one of my sessions before, I've always got two screens. Here is where the chat is. So if you see me looking over there a lot, I'm not being awkward. I'm just looking at the screen to see if there's any questions. All right. Okay, so anyway, what I wanted to do, because a lot of people have been asking me many times over the past 12, 18 months about Mark Hess. Mark does these simple little prompt generator tools, okay? And he's been doing them really well as far as building a business of low-cost WarriorpPlus offers that simply do one thing. They make a lot of sales and they build up his buyers list. He's getting stronger and stronger and stronger with every launch. You can see when they first started doing this, he would get some with 1,000+ sales, some with 250 sales. This one here, 2,000. And then recently, you're going to see most of his launches now have got 1,000+ sales. Okay, he's cracked it as far as having trained his audience that whenever he releases something, he sells it $8, $10. He's trained them to buy it without thinking, okay? He's actually trained the audience to buy without thinking. He's done a fantastic job there, absolutely fantastic job there, okay? And I get people asking me all the time, how can I build tools like this? And it's just a simple single HTML file, which is super simple for Claude Codex to build, Claude or Codex to build, okay? So we're going to do that. I'm going to start off with building a tool, and then we're going to switch to the one that we've already built, okay? So I can take that one further. The reason for that is because when you give a prompt to Claude, it can take a while before it will respond, before it's finished doing what it needs to do. When it starts a build, for example, it might go off for 4 or 5 minutes and do stuff. And, you know, if we're live in a webinar, there's not a lot I can fill that space with that I haven't already said. Okay, so we're going to start the prompt off. We're going to start the process off, and then we'll switch to the one that has already been built. And I'm going to get this computer to take over from that build, because I built it on the other computer that I use daily. I just use this computer for recording videos. So I will get Claude Code on this computer to take over that build with the starter prompt, and I'll give you the prompts that I use so that you can see everything and nothing is left out, okay? And as we start to improve that particular tool that I built to turn it in from a generic AI article generator into something much more unique, much more powerful, something I would actually use for myself, then you will start to see how it all happens. And it's really simple. Even if you're not sure how to take it forward, I'll show you how we can do that as well, okay? Okay, so basically what I've done is I've chosen one of Mark's products because it's something we always get asked about, okay? And you can see that this did 2,000 sales, converted at 24%. And I would say that that was probably converting much higher at the time of the launch, okay? What happens with these launches is during the week that it's being launched, the conversion rates can be as high as 40, 50, 60% sometimes. And then traffic trickles in afterwards, and you will start to see less conversion rates as that traffic sort of drifts in and out after the launch. So he was probably minimum 40% conversion during the launch, and he had a visitor value of $2.64. So he's made a few $1,000s from that. But more importantly, what he did is he probably built a buyer's list of, well, if you got 2,000 funnel sales, you're talking about 1,000 front end sales, less the people that was already on his list. Okay. The important thing about this, if you want to do stuff like this as well, and especially when you see people like Mark knocking it out of the park, doing like 1,000 product sales every single launch, and he's launching probably every week at this point, because tools are so easy to build now. You've got to remember he didn't start with no audience. He started with an audience already there. Mark's been doing this for a long time. He already had an email list. He already had a buyer's list. He had momentum before he even started to do these low-cost tools. Okay, so he didn't start from a standing start. Now, for you to be able to get to where he is, or even a fraction of where he is, you're going to need to attract traffic. His email list is his traffic. One thing I will say, though, is he will not get many affiliates promoting for him when he's selling front-end products at $8 and giving 50% commission. Nobody's going to email for $4 commission, okay? So what he's done over the past year or so is basically been built up from his own list, and then more people seeing it in the top sellers in WarriorpPlus and buying the products, and then getting hooked on these cheap little products that appear to be very, very useful, handy little tools, okay? And that's basically what he's done, is he's trained that audience and built the audience at the same time. But it didn't come from a standing start. He already had an audience to begin with. For you to emulate that, you could advertise on WarriorpPlus, okay? There's a guy called Harris Feldman, and you can find him on Facebook often. And he offers deals for people who want to advertise on WarriorpPlus. You can get some good deals to advertise for 3 or 4 days, not that expensive, which gets you on the radar of a lot of people who are looking for products and also for affiliates as well. Okay, it's all going to come down to your funnel, where there's enough meat in the funnel to attract affiliates so they can make a reasonable commission from your funnel. Okay, and also if you're advertising in the marketplace, the offers page that buyers see, not affiliates, but the buyers will actually see. If you advertise there as well, there's a good chance you'll get a few sales from there. But more importantly, what's happening is if you do this often enough, you start branding yourself. Your name starts to become more and more familiar as the more you do it. Okay, the more you advertise, the more launches you do, the more you do it, the more your name is getting seen, especially with these adverts, which are not that expensive, not in the long run. They can pay back multiple times over by the time you get to your 3rd, 4th, 5th launch, when you start to get recognized. People start to take a look, especially if it's a low-cost offer. You know, you've got a better chance of getting that person onto email list. Now, you might be thinking, if you're not coming from that kind of environment, WarriorpPlus, JVZ, if you're coming from an environment where you are looking at monthly recurring revenue, you're selling on social media, etc. I get it. I understand it. This is a good place to start just for testing. You can verify your offers and then take them further. What I'm doing right now is I'm building these Chrome extensions. Now, the ones that are selling best, I'm going to turn them into web apps, okay? And then I can take them into social media. Then I can charge monthly recurring revenue. Okay, that's all going to be part of the evergreen, how we do that transition, that transformation. But this is a good place to build up a buyer's list. Okay, the money made here and the money made from affiliate promotions can pay for ads on social media. Okay, so it's not either or. You can have a transition between the two so that both make sense at a specific time, even in a specific format. Chrome extension to web app. Okay, once you've got the verification that this is going to be popular, lots of people are buying, I'm getting testimonials, I'm getting reviews, I'm getting money that I can push into ads for social media, and I can turn this Chrome extension into a web app, or this single HTML tool into a web app. within hours using Claude Code. Okay, so both can work together. It doesn't have to be either or. Okay, and getting the testimonials is huge when you go into this sort of monthly recurring revenue stuff. Okay, so anyway, let's jump into the offer that we got here. Okay, now what I've done is I've put into this tool the ability that you can export your campaigns and you can import your campaigns. So I had done all my campaigns in a different computer. I put the file, the export file, on Google Drive, downloaded it here, so I'm able to pull that information in here, and you can see how many pages, etc. I've got here. So I'm just going to load something that I've already done, okay? And then that means I've done all 6 steps of the research, okay? All 6 steps. It's very, very easy. It's just point and click stuff. There's nothing difficult there at all. There's a 30-minute video on the download page showing how I did this, okay? And then we can click on this one to be a winner, okay? And we can click on here to use that page and research. And that is going to pull in the information that we got here. So I'm going to put in here a name. I'll call it Traffic Genesis 2. And I do a lot of typos, and I've got really, really, really bad keyboard skills. You can tell why I couldn't do coding myself. Okay, so I'm going to call it Traffic Genesis V2. Okay, it won't be. I'm not going to build it out. I'm going to fix the one that I've already got. Okay, and we can click on here. Where do I fall short, and what do I need to build? Okay, depending if you've already got a similar tool. So, for example, how that would work. Okay, I've got a tool called Profit Books. It's a book that generates a software that generates ebooks. Okay, that you can put on Amazon Kindle or KDP. Okay, there's a whole bunch of these tools. Okay, it's not a unique concept. There's a lot of these tools on WarriorPlus and maybe even on JVZoo, and I can go and get multiple URLs and put them in here, and it would do a comparison what we've got as far as features and what they have got or what they're claiming to have via their pages. Okay, so you're able to do that and see what you might be missing. And to do that, then you would click on this one. I have a product to compare and improve. Okay, this way you can take the best of what they've got, add it to what you've got to make your tool better, to improve your own tool. Or you can choose, I'm starting from scratch. Okay, we're going to choose that right now. We've got a name. Okay, and here we can put in information that we can put in information about the tool we just researched. Let me just pick up some information here. Now, if you've got, if you already bought that particular tool, I'm not going to do this here because it would just be kind of cheeky and wrong to do this, okay? But you can take a screenshot, okay? So Mark's tool is basically one single page of prompts, okay? I'm not going to take the screenshot, but you could attach the files and put the screenshot. You can also as well put in here their transcripts, okay, from their, I'll just grab it here, from the videos. Okay, I'm going to take all of this as a transcript. Okay, why do I want to take that? Because it's important when we do a sales page that we know exactly how he's been promoting it. Okay, it's really, really important so that we know that. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that and I'll put it into this box. And if you know features that you already want in it, you can put in here as well. Okay, now I have got a list of features that I want to add to this tool here, but I'm not going to put it into this particular prompt because this is like the starter prompt. Okay, I would rather do that in Claude Code later. Okay, but if you wanted to, you could, you know, put in some features that you want to have. So I don't want just the prompt generator. I want an article writer. I don't want just an article writer. I wanted to build no-code calculators that embeds on WordPress or gives me a zip file that I can put onto Netlify or Cloudflare to build a single site. Okay, there's multiple things. Whatever you think you want to put there, you can put in there. Okay, so I'm just going to click on here what kind of tool we're going to be building and what code, what AI model we're going to be using. Okay, so I've got Claude Code and I've got Codex, and you can choose something else as well if you're using Grok or something like that. Okay, what do you want to build it with? Okay, so I want to put in here single HTML file to add to my website. Okay, simple plain English. You don't need to understand coding, and it will go and generate the prompts based on all the research that was done before. Okay, all that research, all that information, the angles, the sales page stuff. And we also, when we did the research, we took the research to the max, as far as we generated video scripts for an affiliate promotion, we generated email swipes, and we generated a pre-sale page for affiliate offer. All of that information is transferred here. So instead of now being just for an affiliate promotion, the best of it is pulled in, so that when you want to build a better tool, it's going to be taking the best of that information to build that better tool. Okay, so even though it was written for an affiliate promotion, it's going to be used for, and now for the build spec that we need to be able to build within Claude Code. Give it a couple of minutes now. While that's happening, I'm just going to open up Claude Code here, and I'm going to start a new session. Okay. And I'll have this ready just to go as soon as we have got our output in here. And then we can tell it as well to write a sales page. And if you want to compare it to other tools, we've got this section down here. If you've got similar tools, I would probably most of the time start from scratch. Okay, I don't think I would go to one of my previous tools to improve it based on somebody else's tool, because I took them as far as I could at the time. I would probably always start with a brand new fresh tool. So we can copy the build spec by copy and paste, or we can just click this button. I'll just copy it since we're on a webinar, just to make sure that we've got it. Okay, and then we can come into Claude Code and we can paste it in here and send the prompt off. Okay, I'll just make this bigger so you can see it. I clicked something and I don't know where I clicked. Oh, there we go. Back to normal. All right, get any questions? You can put them in. Harry, do you need a paid LLM to make this work? Or will it work in a free Claude account? I don't think it's going to work in a free Claude account. You need to have Claude or ChatGPT paid account to be able to use this properly. Some of these builds can go quite deep, and they can use up tokens, etc. as you're going through the sessions. You can use the sort of web app versions. You don't need to use the desktop app versions. I'm using Claude Desktop right now, but you could in Claude, for example, or even in ChatGPT. Let's go to both Claude and ChatGPT. Okay, now in Claude, you can see the two tabs up here. You've got one for code, so you can actually start the session off here, and it will work just the same with your Claude account. Okay, I don't think it can be done in a free account. I wouldn't even advise it, because I know from experience, having built a lot of tools with Claude Code, that you can run out of tokens and credits and stuff quite quickly. Okay, I would imagine you're going to need a paid account to be able to do it properly, so that you can see a build through from start to finish. In ChatGPT, I'll click here to open the sidebar and click on more. What we're looking for here is we can go to work. I actually use the desktop tool when I'm using codecs. I'm guessing the work here would be able to do it. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can confirm that for me. I use the ChatGPT desktop tool where I see a tab called codecs. I don't see it here unless I'm missing something. If I'm wrong, if somebody's been using codecs a lot, then correct me so I can give correct information. But the desktop tools are good. They're pretty decent to work with. Okay, but you need a paid account to be able to see it through from start to finish, a proper build, especially when you're improving things. When you're doing the first build, it's quick and easy. When you are improving, when you're doing small tweaks, when you're testing, you see things, you notice things that you want to improve. That process, the polishing, the tweaking, the sort of making it ready to release, that can take longer than the initial build. The initial build is actually quite quick. Okay. And at that point forward, you want to make it as good as you can make it, but you don't need to take it to extremes that you never get something released because it's never perfect. Okay, you want to make a minimum viable product, so you can take it to the point where you've got one good thing working really, really well, and then add to that as you go along. That can work in your benefit as well, because if you add things later, once people have actually started buying, all they are seeing at that point is improvements, and then they that builds trust in the tool, builds trust in you as a sort of creator, and that can help. Okay, I've done that a lot of times where we've released the tool, then we've released a much better version of it not long after, and that just helps to cement the trust when you're doing that. Okay. Yeah, use the desktop to connect to Chrome for more power. Okay, there's also something called Claude for Chrome. Okay, it's a Chrome extension. If you install that as well, that allows Claude to do things on your browser as well. When you're doing with Claude Code, it means it can go and research for you from other people's products, etc. as well. Okay, so here's what you're going to see a lot of. These permission notices here. These permission notices, they can pop up a lot. If you've got 2 or 3 different projects working at the same time, don't expect to get anything else done, because these will pop up thick and fast. Okay. I've got it down to not doing more than 2 at one time, but I won't even do 2 at one time unless I know I've got time dedicated just for that, because it's going to keep popping up. Like, you will get allow once or always allow, or the option to deny, of course, as well. That can pop up a lot. It can be fast, it can be frantic at times. So if you're going to do a build, set time aside just to focus on that, so that you're not distracted when you're doing the build. You can read the stuff that's actually coming up, what it's saying, the things that it's noticing, and just make a mental note of some of the things that stand out to you. Okay. And if you do that, then you're going to have a far better tool as well. If you're distracted, which I've found in the past, you can skip some things, you can miss some things, just by not reading what's there. Okay, this is still running in the background. You can see why I was not going to do this live from start to finish build. Okay, but that's why we're going to take over at some point. Okay, all core paths are verified. 5 screens, 5-step navigation, keyword sorter, prompts for different parts of the tool, publish and index branches, tracker, etc., etc. Okay, and here we got an HTML file. Okay, you can see the preview. If I click on here, you can see the preview. Okay, we've got setup, keywords, prompts, publish, build. Okay, that's how we would do that, and then we would just slowly but surely test, improve. Okay, test and improve, and test and improve, and test and improve. Now, what if you're not sure what to improve? What if you're not sure? What if it's something that you want to improve, but you might not have that knowledge yet? Okay, one of the best ways to do that is to go and find what people are sharing on social media. Okay, what people are sharing as far as their methods, their step-by-step guides on places like Twitter and LinkedIn especially, and to an extent YouTube as well, you're going to find people sharing that kind of stuff a lot, all day, every day. In fact, if I go into my Twitter account, I know it's called X now, but I still call it Twitter because I've been using it for years. If I come in here and I'm in my home page, but the For You tab here, you will see again and again and again, there's a lot of how-to kind of things, okay? How to make ads like a $10,000 agency, okay? Send this to your Claude code agent and ask them to recreate a skill, all this kind of stuff. 15 high authority sites where you can build citations. How to sell Amazon KDP books. There's just tons and tons of stuff being shared. There's a lot of methods being shared, and there's a lot of case studies being shared. What I would say to you is, if you're going to go this kind of direction, start to identify the people who are genuine, sharing case studies, from the people who are just trying to grow their following. Okay, people like Paul here, for example, he's got a bit of a reputation of being a very, very decent SEO guy. Okay, he's not going to put anything rubbish. Okay, so when you start to identify the people who have got good reputations and they are sharing stuff, you know that's pretty solid. Okay, now there's a ton of people for SEO, there's a ton of people for building in public, there's a ton of people for doing paid traffic, organic traffic in different ways, etc. There's a whole bunch of different subtopics that you can find people sharing how-tos, step-by-step guides, etc. on Twitter. Now, I use Twitter mainly just to observe. I do have a team working every night. They will go and post things on Twitter. Usually we don't get any engagement. We get very, very few engagement there from that stuff. The reason for that is because you need to start getting known. You need to start replying to some of these well-known accounts, and you start to build up your reputation just by sharing stuff, sharing knowledge and answering things in a sort of way that people understand this guy knows what he's talking about, kind of thing. I can't get my assistants to do that, and I don't have time to do it. So we're just posting stuff in there, not much engagement, but there will be a point where I will step up and start to do that. Anyway, for now, this is a good place to go and find stuff. Now, what I found today was a post from a guy called Charles Float. If you know SEO, if you know people within the SEO circles, Charles is quite well known. And he was commenting on a video from, I think it was an interview from Edward Sturm and David Quaid. And he made a post, okay? He put this post on Twitter, basically saying that the most useless advice in SEO, especially AI SEO, is just write quality content. And he's gone into detail of why and the what's and stuff like that. Now, this is perfect. What he's done here is he's outlined why you need to do more, but also explained what you need to do more, okay? This is perfect. If we take that kind of information, okay, we can put it into ChatGPT like I just did. I took the whole post, put it into ChatGPT, and I basically asked him, what are the key things from this that I should apply to new article content, okay? So it's giving me all this breakdown based on what Charles has written here, okay? So he's talking about answer the question immediately. So that's going to be at the top of the article, okay? And it's given details about make every section understandable on its own. Just giving all this information, okay? So what I've done is I've taken that information and I've fed that into, well, not yet, but I'm going to feed it into Claude. But I took it further as well, because I took the max out organic traffic. I took the prompts from it. I said, okay, compare these prompts to the prompts that we would do if we were going to follow what Charles Float was saying, okay? And by the way, everything he was saying there is all in intent SEO. I've been building this stuff for months into my tools, okay? I just spotted the post and I thought that's going to save me a lot of time. So I swiped it. But you will find in Skyscraper AI, you will find an Intent SEO WordPress plugin, the exact stuff he's talking about here. So I've asked ChatGPT to compare the prompts from that tool that sold 2,000 copies and what Charles is saying. How do we differentiate our content? How do we make our content not generic AI article stuff? Okay, we want to take it further. How do we apply that? How do we change the prompts that we're going to put into the tool to use as the prompts that generate that content? Okay, and so basically it's given me all the information. It's gone through step by step, the keyword finder, the blueprint generator, okay, the content generator, all that stuff, and humanization and image generation, etc. as well. Okay, and then it's telling you the additional changes to make. So the current flow, when he's talking about the original tool that sold 2,000 copies, was keyword, blueprint, article, humanize, images. And it's suggesting we do better. Okay, keyword, search intent, retrieval blueprint, article, answer block article. Okay, human editor pass, information graphics. Okay, and you will find information graphics prompts within our tools as well. Okay, and it's basically giving you all the reasons why, and it's not done a tear down as such. It's just separated what's there and how it could be better. Okay, so we can take all of this if you just have that basic chat within ChatGPT or Claude. Okay, just a normal web app chat. Okay, and we can put this into Claude. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because this has started to build, and I'm not going to deploy this, I'm going to switch now. I'm going to go into a new chat. Okay, so that we can take over the tool that's already up on anthonyhayes.io. Okay, now you notice I haven't shared that tool. Let me just find, where did I put that? There we go. I haven't shared that tool in the WhatsApp group, but I'll give you a copy of it tonight once we finish this. Okay, it's nighttime here, so if it's morning in America, I don't mean to confuse you. Okay, so if I come back over into my document here, I've already got a prompt that I'm going to use. Okay, now what I did is, because I built this on the other computer with the desktop, the other computer with the desktop app, I'm just scroll back up. I need to switch it to this computer. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first half of this, and so that it starts to take over the build for that tool. Okay, so I'm just going to start a brand new session, and I'm going to put this information in here, and it's got links to the Google Drive folder where everything gets pushed. When we're building in Cloud Code, we push to GitHub. You need to have a free GitHub account, and also we push into Google Drive as well. So I've got backups in both places, and that allows me to move from computer to computer as well. Okay, so once it's confirmed that it's got all the files it needs, then we're going to take it further. We're going to take this stuff that we got from ChatGPT. Okay, and basically saying, I want to improve the output of this tool. Okay, I've already told it to find the tool within Google Drive. Okay, I want to improve the output of this tool. To do this, I had a Twitter post analyzed, and ChatGPT made suggestions on how to improve the prompts used from an original tool that we built a better version of when making Traffic Genesis. Okay, ChatGPT analyzed only the prompts for that tool and not the prompts used in Traffic Genesis, but we can still compare and apply improvements to Traffic Genesis. So what I can do is I can just grab all of this. This goes from 10 pages to 48 pages. So I don't know if it's going to be able to accept all of this, but we're going to find out. I might have to break it between 2 prompts or 3 prompts, but I hope not. Just grab this. If you got any questions in the meantime, you can ask. Almost there. Okay, and I've got a final prompt at the end as well. I'm just going to copy it. Let me just bring back that page that we had here. ChatGPT Codex works really good with Netlify, but it eats tokens. Yeah, Cloudflare is supposed to be good as well. Okay, I still do things mostly on my website because I've rebuilt the website, the main website, and I want to populate it with free tools. I want to give people a reason to keep coming back to the site so that I've got some way of capturing an audience there, whether it's getting them to sign up for an email list, sign up for a newsletter, or to put some retargeting pixels with on the website that I can, advertise to them later. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this, and it's still got permissions. Still trying to find a folder. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this basic tool that is producing generic AI content, and we're going to make it into turn it into something quite unique. And the thing is with this, what you will notice with these launches, especially JVZoo WarriorPlus, as I mentioned before, that people are building tools for the purpose of launches. And the big thing is whether the tool is built to be used by them themselves. Okay. That's what you can spot pretty quickly when you purchase a tool. You can ask yourself, did this person build that tool to use themselves, or did they build it just for a launch? Now, I'm not knocking anybody. It's up to them how they want to do their products, their tools, etc. But if you want to make a really good tool, it needs to be something that you would use yourself. And that's why I didn't even share that Traffic Genesis tool in the WhatsApp group, because I didn't think it was good enough. It's not something we would use ourselves. It's not something I would get my assistants to use until we take it further. And so, that's a decision that only you can make for yourself. It's easier just to build good enough for a launch, create a fantastic sales page, copy angles from somebody who's done it successfully for a similar product, and put it out there, run some traffic to it, drive some ads, whatever, and make sales. Okay, start to build your list. After a while, when people keep purchasing, if they have got a little bit of experience, then they're going to start noticing this is not that great. You might see something like that's a prompt generator, and then just sort of realize this guy is selling the process, not the outcome. Okay, but the sales copy might be selling the outcome and not the process. Does that make sense? So if you're selling the process prompts, which you still have a lot of work to do with, okay, or if you're selling the outcome, which is going to be a step-by-step from start to finish, at the end, you're going to end up with something unique, something high quality, something you would use yourself. It's two different things, okay? That's a decision only you can make if you want to do those kind of launches, okay? And again, I'll say that if you're into the social media promotion stuff for the monthly recurring revenue, I get it. I really do. I want to move into that area as well, but this can still work alongside it, okay? Even places like AppSumo, you could put these kind of tools in just to build an audience with the sheer volume of traffic that they've got. I've done that before as well. It worked out okay. It was not fantastic, but it was okay. We had, a few hundred buyers, and we had a lot more added to a remarketing list that I had because I put the pixels on the website. There was a lot of people clicking through to the website. That gave me an audience that I could advertise to. Okay, so it's got its advantages, and the same with WarriorPlus. But WarriorPlus, you need traffic, and that's why they're heavily focused on affiliate traffic. Okay, the affiliates driving the traffic for those launches. Okay, let's see what it's got here. Okay, let's see if I got Google Drive for desktop here. Google Drive for desktop. I should have put that on before. Once I've got this, then it should be able to get it. Okay. Okay, so Drive for Desktop is fired up. Let's see if it can pick it up. If not, then I'll go back to the one we originally started building, and we'll just build it out from there. The one that we started just a few minutes ago. Okay, and another thing as well, when you're using Claude, the model you choose is important. I know some people prefer to work with Fable 5. I was using Opus 5 for a while. I just found it was going around the houses doing stuff I didn't ask it to do. Okay, it was using up a lot of tokens, doing stuff I didn't want it to do. I would ask it to do something, it would go and do 20 other things before that, and I'd be waiting for the one thing that I asked for, and I started to get a little bit frustrated with it. Okay, so I use mostly for the Chrome extensions and simple tools like single HTML tools, I'll use Opus 4.8. Okay, it's quicker, it's good enough to do the job. It does the job, pretty decent. You can at the end then use something like Fable or Opus 5 to go and check that everything's been done correctly, and you're going to spend more time there because it's going to go deeper, etc., and suggest changes. But for doing the initial build, Opus 4.8 is usually very, very good. Okay, for doing this. Retargeting, remarketing. Google call it remarketing, and Facebook call it retargeting. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can pick this up now. If not, I'll just switch to the previous chat and we'll build out from there. But the advantage here is that we've already got this one on the website, so I want to use this one. Okay, so that will get updated in real time. And then I can share it with you. Any other questions while we're waiting for this? Okay, so it's found this Chrome extensions subfolder. I'll cover this in the Evergreen workshops, which is going to start next week. Starts on Monday. If you were a member of Evolution IM in that last month, before we closed it, you can join the Evergreen workshop for free. Okay, or if you don't want the Evergreen workshop, there's one coming after that for another workshop series called Cornerstone, where we build website exactly like I built my new one. I'll be teaching that, so you can choose one or the other. And we also got an option where you can get a license system for your tools as well that connects to WarriorPlus, that connects to Zaxa.com, that connects to JVZoo. We'll probably add some more like Gumroad and some others in there as well. There's an option for an upgrade for the license system, the exact system that we used. Okay, come on. This is why I don't want to do the live build all the way from start to finish, because it can take a few minutes. So we just have to wait for it. Okay, while that's happening, let's go and do something to spend some time. Okay, if I just copy from the main domain URL. Okay, this website is the new version of the. We used to have anthonyhayes.me. I'm getting rid of that. We're going to redirect to best pages over here. And what I did here was I got Claude Code to do all of this stuff in here. The whole thing was built with Claude Code, and it's actually pretty decent, much, much better than I expected it was going to turn out. And I have my assistants working on this site at least 2 or 3 times a week, just keeping it updated. making sure everything is good. And so we're building stuff in here like free tools. It lists all the different products that we got, etc. There's a whole bunch of new products to add in here. And so people can get a picture of what you're doing quickly and easily. Now, the free tools are designed to drive traffic and bring traffic back as well. They're still needing optimized, a lot of these pages that I've got in here, because it's kind of still very, very new. But this is what we're going to be teaching in Cornerstone workshop. After Evergreen workshop is finished, we go straight into the Cornerstone workshop, how we can do this, how we build the tools and add them, and how you can show an assistant to manage it for you, basically, and have most of the work done for you. And so if you go over to that site, you see there's a whole bunch of free tools in there that you can pick up, test, play around with. And if you see stuff that needs improvement, let me know. We got keyword intent, for example, which the original version was built by a developer. It's still on its own domain, but that domain belongs to me. It's in my Namecheap account. I'll probably redirect that over to this page here. I've made a better version. And the keyword intent is really good because if I put in here something like SEO tools, for example, it will go and do the search, but it's going to go and find keywords that don't have words like SEO and tools in it. Okay, it's going to find words like Ubersuggest or Ahrefs, etc. And those are sort of highlighted where it says jump here. So it's basically related, but not using the exact words. A lot of keyword tools, not all of them, but a lot of keyword tools will just give you variations of, the same keyword. And this is pretty good. And you can even go into the trends. You can go into types of keywords, whether it's going to be buying intent, products, information, or whatever. You can choose as well where the keywords are coming from. Okay, if I choose Google Ads here, then it's going to show you just keywords from the Google Ads API that I've tied into. And you can sort by trends, etc. as well. You can also sort by SEO difficulty in here as well. It's a good little tool. It's free. You can use that anytime. It's actually really, really, really useful. And the original version of this, it's still getting a lot of traffic. I can't remember how much. I think the last time I looked, it was jumping between 50 and 100,000. It's quite a big gap. January, it got like 100,000 hits. I think last month it was like 50,000, but the month before it was 75, and the month before that was like 55. It keeps jumping back and forward. But the problem is a lot of the traffic is coming from countries like Bangladesh, India, Asian countries, basically. And that's okay if you're going to do ads like Mediavine or AdSense, etc. But for the target audience I haven't made my decision yet what I'll do that redirect, because I want to get US, UK, European traffic, etc. Into this site. But it would boost the site traffic for, instantly if I did that. But I'll think about it. But you can use that tool. It's a very, very good little tool. There's a lot of work still to be done on this. I only did this in one session. Took me a few hours building in Claude Code. And when you see it, when you play around with it, it's quite impressive for the little amount of time that I did spend on it. And we can take it a lot further. Even the free version will be taken a lot further. Okay, let's come back. Click always allow. And that keyword tool is doing stuff it was supposed to do at the beginning. But I think the developer he was quite new at that time. He just didn't know. He didn't know what he didn't know, I guess. About some SEO stuff. Okay, so once we get these permissions out of the way, hopefully, we can kick on. Do I do ads with Google or any other platform? I used to with YouTube ads. There was a point where we were doing YouTube ads without any goal, just simple YouTube ads. And every video I released, we were generating 10,000 views to it. Okay. I stopped doing it. No particular reason that I stopped. I thought it was actually quite a good thing to do at the time. The key thing that I was doing with that when I was doing it with YouTube ads was anybody who views your video on your channel, they get added onto the remarketing list, as Google calls it, remarketing list. Okay. And that allows me to go and do things like search ads to that audience, which are simpler to do because you don't have to make videos, and target that audience from that. That was the original goal. Create videos, drive YouTube ads, get like 10,000 views in the video, and then retarget them with some offers. Where it's a free tool, try to move them from retargeting audience into an email list was the real goal. Okay. I'm going to choose here live keyword sidebar. Just click on that, install the node here. Okay. Whenever Claude gives you some options like it just did here, I always choose the one that says recommended. Okay. Now, usually I would spend a couple of minutes trying to understand what it said, but because we're already behind and we're live in the webinar, I just clicked to choose whatever it recommended there. Okay. But normally I will anyway, but I will check to see what it says. And whatever it's recommending, you know, it's good enough to begin with. You can always improve things later as well, once you start testing. Yeah, so YouTube ads I was doing, but we need to start doing meta ads as well, especially with the sort of monthly recurring stuff. When I start to transition some Chrome extensions into web apps, that will be the time that we do that. I'll probably hire someone to do that for me rather than go through a learning curve, unless Stephanie wants to. My daughter Stephanie, she might want to do that. And also the videos now are much easier. She did a tool called Captionly, which is a really good tool. It does these Ryan Dice style kinetic videos where you can see the text moving, the captions, etc. And she's just rebuilt Niche Blaster as well. Okay. As far as the video making is concerned, that is complete now. We're probably going to release that sometime this week. Niche Blaster to the original customers. We're not going to sell it yet until we've added some distribution to it, in the sense that we can upload videos to YouTube and stuff like that. But for the existing customers, you should get access to Niche Blaster this week. And then next week will be the Parasite SEO Pro. So I'm rebuilding all the old tools that we had before we stopped working with the previous developer who just didn't want to maintain the tools. Okay, good tools, too important to let go. But I had no problem letting them go temporarily once I started to use Claude Code, because I knew that I could rebuild them and rebuild them better for 2026. Okay, so this is still working in the background. There's not a lot I can do until it can pick that up. And this is one of the things with Claude, it can take a little bit of time. But the process is pretty clear. Okay, find how you can improve what you've already got. You can build out that base product like I did with that Traffic Genesis. Okay, although it's not groundbreaking, it's just doing generic AI content. Once we've got that, we got something to build on. We don't stop there. Okay, we never stop there. We want to take it further. If you want to build a tool that will help to build your reputation as a builder, as a creator, then you want to take it further. You want to make it as good as it can be. Okay. And you want to give people who bought the tool a chance to be able to achieve whatever your claims were on that sales page. If you're claiming on the sales page that these articles are generating thousands of dollars for you every single month, then you're either not being honest, or you need to show the proof, or you need to make it good enough to give them a chance for that to happen. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Reputation is everything, absolutely everything, especially over a series of products that you do. Okay, if you're doing launches, once you learn how to do the Claude Code stuff, if you're not already doing it, It doesn't take long, but you start noticing you keep building, a lot. You can quickly build up a catalog of products and a backlog to be released. And all you've got to figure out from that point forward is, how do I get this stuff shipped in a sort of fashion that's not chaotic and that is organized, and how do I drive traffic to it? That's the only questions that you're going to have, okay, at that particular point. But we have answers for all of that, okay. A workshop on the YouTube ads. Stephanie did a course. I taught her how to do the YouTube ads, and she did a really good course. She took it a lot further. I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember what she called that course. I'll ask her if she'll give it with the Evergreen. Okay, that's what we'll do. I'll ask her if she'll give access to that course with Evergreen. So if anybody purchases Evergreen when it's being promoted, then you can get that as a bonus as well. I'm pretty sure she'll be okay with that. Having attended Unshackled doesn't help with access to Evergreen. It's an advanced version, a much more advanced version, okay? Unshackled was kind of, how do we use base 44? We were using base 44 AI to do all the building. This is going much deeper. When you start to see the emails, in fact, the first emails might already have gone out. Have a look at what we're doing there, okay? It's similar, but not the same, okay? We're going in a different direction with it, okay? We're getting into more advanced stuff, but it's still very easy to do, okay? Where we're getting Claude Code and Codex to do stuff. Although I will be showing how to use Claude Codes and Codex within base 44, so you can build those base 44 apps and take advantage of some features in base 44 that can save you a whole bunch of time. For example, if you want to put Google authorization for people to sign up and sign in, base 44 is perfect because it's got that already built in. It's just you click a button and it's done for you. So we want to take advantage of that, but we don't want the base 44 AI to do anything more after that. You want Claude Code to do all of the coding. Claude Code can integrate with base 44, so can Codex. So you want it to take over from that point. But there's stuff that we're going to be covering, like building Chrome extensions. The web apps is only one part of it. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff as well that we'll be showing in the Evergreen. Okay, so there's two different courses. This one is more advanced on how we can build tools now, like a year later. I think Unshackled must have been at least 10, 12 months ago. So this is like a year later. And we're getting into much better stuff now so that we can build more complicated tools without being worried that things are going to break. They still break from time to time, but not anywhere close as what it used to with base 44 AI. Okay, this is still taking time, this one. Yeah, there's not a transition from Unshackled to Evergreen. It's a different offer. Okay, so we put the offer out, and you can choose if you want to join. It's a new, more advanced workshop basically. It's not like if you got Unshackled and you move into Evergreen with, I've got to put in something like 60 hours work. Every webinar that I do takes about 6 hours preparation plus the delivery time, which is usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. So, I can't give it away. I need to get paid for the work and for sharing the new strategies that we'll be doing there. So we'll put in a discount code probably in the WhatsApp group, as we usually do. Usually give people in the WhatsApp group a $50 discount. We'll do the same there. Okay. All right, we think we're nearly getting there, but this is taking a while. It's getting a little bit frustrating, actually. So all the stuff that I had here, ready to go. I really wanted to see that transition happening. So as soon as it lets us, then we'll at least get that part done. And it's something that I'm just going to have to work on tomorrow morning my time, because it's taken longer than I expected. I just wanted it in this one prompt to confirm that it can connect with the Google Drive, it can get the tools, but it's gone off and started to do something else much deeper, which is quite common for Claude to go and do that. So it's doing tests and all various things. I just wanted to know, can you connect? But it does build good tools. All right. No, I didn't mention people who are unshackled have free access to Evergreen. I can't give free access to Evergreen. I cannot give free access to Evergreen. I can give a discount, okay, for everybody in the WhatsApp group. As I mentioned, there's going to be six sessions. I'm going to have to put in something like 60 hours work to put that together, okay? That's from the preparation, delivery, and everything else. I cannot give it away for free. Somebody who bought Unshackled a year ago cannot get Evergreen for free. Otherwise, there's no point in me doing these workshops. We need to get paid for the work. So I'll give a discount, $50 discount inside the WhatsApp group. Okay, I cannot give free access. The only people that get free access were the people from Evolution IM, because I stopped Evolution IM. They had already paid for the final month for Evolution IM. I gave them an option at that point. Do you want a refund or do you want to get the next workshop for free? Most of them chose to get the next workshop for free. So Evolution IM people that were active at that particular point who had paid, and we didn't deliver the last month, I just stopped it and I told them I'll give them access to the next workshop or refund. Those are the only people that will get for free because they've actually partially paid for it anyway. And most of those people stuck with me through Evolution IM from beginning. So, I gave them that option. not from Unshackled. It was Evolution IM. Okay, so come on. I need to get work done here. I think it's actually working in the tool right now because it's saying like article card markup and stuff like that. And I haven't even got that final prompt in there, the one that's got the information from Charles's Twitter post. The danger with doing stuff like this, when you've already got tools that do similar, because Skyscraper does some stuff similar to Intent SEO WordPress plugin, is that all your tools start to look the same. But one of the things I liked about what Charles was saying in his Twitter post is that it's more about answering specific questions, okay, multiple times throughout an article, different questions. And it was just like question, provide the solution or the answers, etc. And you would do that multiple times. That's from what I understood what he was doing there. So hopefully it's going to turn out a little bit different and we can get it unique to both the Skyscraper stuff and also to the Intent SEO stuff. But we still need to put in there things like the stats and data research. We need to put that in there, and probably tool builder for embedding calculator tools and stuff like that. That to me is now needed just about every tool that we put in. And rather than having just one separate tool like Traffic Magnets that does those particular calculators really in depth, like multi-steps and highly personalized answers, we can still do simpler tools within the article generating tools to put something in there that's useful, that's handy, without going into the same depth as what Traffic Magnets did. If you got Traffic Magnets, I would suggest you use that to embed a tool, because it's going to be much higher quality. Okay. Okay, so I don't know when this is going to stop. I really don't know when this is going to stop. When you're doing other stuff, if you're just working on one tool and you see it like this and you sort of come back to it as and when in between doing stuff. But live in the webinar, not ideal. Base 44 is quicker at doing this kind of stuff. It just doesn't go into as much depth, I guess. And so when we were doing the unshackled, the base 44 prompts were producing output much, much quicker. All right. So yeah, Cornerstone's going to be 6 sessions as well over 3 weeks. I was going to try and do them over 2 weeks, but I think it's cramming too much in for people who are trying to absorb the information. That would have been maybe asking too much of people attending to try and cram all that information. There's a lot of information to absorb. So better that we just take an extra week, and plus we'll do an extra Q&A session at the end as well. So a wrap up session as well. So seven sessions. Oh, I've got something flashing here. Oh man, it's taking time. I think what I'm going to have to do when we're doing the evergreen is have some tools already made, like I did with this one, and built on this machine, so we don't have this transition. It's just a matter of, firing up Claude Desktop. And what this is doing right now reminds me of WarriorpPlus 5. It seems to be going around the houses doing stuff I never asked it to do. But it's finding things that it sees that can be improved or needs to be improved. So we'll just let it go. All right, any other questions? Okay, let's ask how many people are using Claude Code right now, or Codex, and building tools, actually building tools. Yeah, okay. Michael asking, are Claude Code's builds able to be self-hosted on their own servers and platforms? Yes, yes. The tool I just showed you, the keyword intent, that's actually on a hosting called railway.app, okay? All I did there was change, I made it that I could put onto anthonyhayes.io, okay? It's kind of a redirect in some way from Namecheap. It was just adding something in Namecheap. I'm not techie. I couldn't even understand. I couldn't even explain it properly. I just told Claude that I want this on my website, and it told me how to do it. Okay, it gave me the steps and told me how to do it. Okay, it looks like it's done some stuff. Let me just click on where it says set up here. Oh no, it doesn't click on the preview yet. That means it's not finished. And also, if you're doing it in base 44, you can put it in your own domains as well. I like base 44 because when you're paying that monthly cost for base 44, that includes all your hosting. That includes all of it. Okay, the building, the hosting, etc. as well. And I've got literally hundreds of apps on base 44. So I continue to pay it just because I can build stuff now via Claude Code in there. And also, I've got all the apps hosted for me. But Railway is a good option as well. Some people, I think, are using Vercel. I just get it to use Railway. And I did use Railway before with Perplexity Computer. When I tried to do that again, I couldn't do it. But when I did it with Claude Code, it was easy enough to do. Claude Code set it up differently. So we'll cover that as well. It's not such a mystery to me anymore. But the second time I did it, I couldn't do it with Perplexity. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working either. And that was live in a webinar, believe it or not. Anyway, good times. And with Claude, you're just connecting. It will connect directly into GitHub. It will connect directly into Railway.app. It will do all the work for you. And it will do all the updates and stuff for you. Whereas before I was doing it manually. That's where I was messing up. And that's the whole thing about the no codes was that you don't have to be technical. You just need to have ideas and sit down, follow it through. And most importantly, you have to test. You have to be testing. Make sure it's working, and make sure when you're testing, you spot things. Always, you will spot things and think this should be moved here, or the workflow is not correct, or we need a step-by-step sort of wizard kind of setup, whatever. And you'll just intuitively ask Claude to make things happen. It just goes ahead and does it all for us. So you don't have to be technical at all. And we got to the point now where we're getting Claude Code to go into the old base 44 apps and improve them. It will just go in, it will check all the code, it will tell you everything that's wrong, and it will fix it all for you. So if you've been building tools in base 44 before and you haven't got Claude Code to do that, then it's a good thing to do, because it doesn't use up your credits in base 44 if Claude Code is doing the coding. Okay, it will just go and do it. It doesn't take away the credits that you've got there within base 44. Yeah, it's gone around the houses here. And we've got a different UI now. See that? This one just appeared. All right. I don't know how much more time we can spend on the webinar. But you can see what's happening here is that we're able to, take the tool, rebuild a tool, and then improve a tool. And the main thing is, if you're not sure how to improve it, you can ask Claude, you can ask ChatGPT. One of my favorite things to do right now is to go into Grok. Okay, I've got a premium account with Twitter, so I get to use what I think they call it Super Grok or something like that. And I will tell it to go and find case studies for me on a specific topic. If I want to, for example, build out a tool that does Facebook pages and creates content for Facebook pages that we use to send traffic back to our website, then I will tell it, go and find examples, go and find recent case studies in the last 6 months from people with a good reputation for doing exactly that. And it will go and find. It can be the same for newsletter growth, can be the same for search engine optimization, all that kind of stuff, ads, whatever. And get Grok to do the actual research inside Twitter for you. And it will come back with a whole bunch of information that you can tap into, and you can basically just swipe that, then put it into Claude Code and say, okay, what can we build from this? How do we make this tool better using this information, using this knowledge? That's all we're doing. We're basically sniping what's working and building tools to automate it. It's a quick and easy process. Okay, we're just basically doing that sniping. We take something that's worked, something that's proven, something that's got case studies with the step-by-step to how to, put it into Claude, build it for us. Okay, so you can get your assistants to use it for you, or you can sell it, or do both, or whatever. Okay, but always test. Make sure you're always testing. And it's taken, you see as well, it's taken the latest models here. So for ChatGPT, it's got 5.6 Terra, 5.6 Luna, 5.6 Sol, which is the most capable. Okay, so I need to, this doesn't look like an article, it's probably just in testing, but I'm guessing that's where the article is going to turn out once it's done. but I'll get it to check it, because if I take a screenshot of this and say that is not an article, then it will go and find what the problem is and it will fix it for us. And it's pretty good at that, being able to sort of debug itself quickly and easily. And if you see something like this, don't panic. This is all very, very easily fixable. I'm guessing it was just testing while it was doing this. Yeah, Phil, if you're using it with base 44, it's got a lot of advantages. The stuff in base 44 that is still useful is the AI agents that you can build within the web apps. That is still a really useful feature. And plus the sign up, the authorization, all that kind of stuff, and plus the user management. And if you're using the sort of one prompt prompts that we gave out when we did that workshop, you can take that information and you can build skills that you put into base 44 as well, so that it's building every single time, like a user management area. It's building an admin area. It's building that footer. Everything is being done in the same design, all that kind of stuff. So every single app that you create, it's got all of that built in. All of it is built in, so that when Claude tells it to build the shell, it's already got instructions in the back end of base 44. Okay, if I'm building a new app, I've got to include the footer. I've got to include this color of design, or this style, and I've got to include this, that, or whatever is in there. Okay. All right. So this is done for this part. Okay, it's finally finished here. And so what shipped? Keywords the article should cover. Each occurrence is highlighted in the article itself. Okay, that's what this green is here. When you're writing an article, you put your keywords here in the right side, or you get AI to put the keywords. When these keywords or entities appear here and they're used in the article, then it will check itself green here. So we got an optimizer tool happening at the same time. Okay, and now it's asking me what's next to do. Okay, so it wants to do the entities next. Now, I don't want to sit here in the webinar while all that's happening. What I will do is I will continue to build this out from tomorrow morning. Okay, and we'll get it to a finished product. When it's done, it's going to be on the same URL. Did I share that URL with you? Let me just come back up. I'm going to share this document with you, and I'll share that URL as well before I do that. And we'll keep it as a free tool. Why not? Let's keep it as a free tool. And so everybody will be able to use this. Okay, now I need to push the updates from the stuff that I'm doing tonight and the stuff that I do tomorrow morning. But when I do push the updates, they will appear on the same URL. Okay, so you'll be able to use this tool. As it gets built out, it's going to be much better. But we started from somebody else's product, which was just a simple prompt generator, which essentially was just selling that process. Okay, it wasn't selling the outcome. Well, the sales page might have been, but the actual thing was just a prompt generator, the process. Okay, which is only part of what this needs to be. Okay. And I've still got that big prompt from the Charles Float post that I've got to put in there, but I want to stop it now. Here's why. Because this still wants to go ahead and do some stuff. Okay. I've obviously taken that whole first starter prompt when I thought I only took half of it, because the second part of that prompt was to do this part here, where we can put our keywords and our entities, and when they get used within the article, then they would highlight in green. So we got an optimizer. So we were taking it further, making it even more impressive. And this is the kind of tool that when you're using it, it's kind of handy to be able to see that your optimization is taking shape, because things are being highlighted as they're being used, as you're doing the steps that are needed to be done. Okay, but now it's telling me it wants to start on the entities. Which it says is cheapest, reuses everything that I just built, or the license gate. Now I'm going to always, when it's asking about licenses, it can get quite annoying, What I do is tell it, don't do licensing until the end, the very, very end, because if you do licensing, it can even disrupt you for 20 minutes, 30 minutes setting up your own license keys and stuff if it doesn't let you continue to test, etc. And you need to be testing every single time. So I'll tell it, do the entities, and I can't get it to do the next part with the Charles float stuff until it's done this, okay? And the reason why is because it's already got an outline and a workflow that it wants to work from, and I don't want to disrupt that because you have to tell it to go and remember what it was doing before otherwise, which is going to cost you more tokens, and it might end up not remembering something important. So I've got to continue with what it started to do. But you can see we're taking it further already. We started to make it into a proper tool now, okay? And that proper tool is going to be impressive by the time it's done. And it will be a free tool on the anthonyhayes.io site. I will keep it free, okay? So you can use it. You might have to add your own API key to use it though. That would be the only limitation. Oh yeah, the doc. Yeah, sorry, I did say I was going to give you that. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, the doc kind of reads a little bit like a blog post, but don't worry about it. It explains things better than slides if you read it just the way it's written. Okay. And we will put this replay up. We'll put it onto the anthonyhayes.io site tomorrow night when my team is back in tomorrow night, with this replay and with the docs and with the link to the free tool, etc. as well. Okay, because otherwise we're going to be going over 2 hours or something like that. We're already at 2 hours, I think. All right, guys, I think we'll finish up there. Okay, I'll continue to build. Keep an eye on the tool and keep an eye on the WhatsApp group as well, because I'll post updates in there. Okay, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, if you go to any of the videos on my channel, there's going to be a link to the WhatsApp group. You can click on that, okay, and join the WhatsApp group. We discuss this kind of thing. And any questions about Evergreen, Cornerstone, all those workshops that are coming up, you can ask in there as well. Okay, thanks.